got a warrant for in-part violation. And order you not to go back to the incident location. And you need to come back to Justice Court on November 26th at 9:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes.
That's it, sir.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Mark Matthews?
You're charged with trespassing. And I think you were told not to trespass yesterday too. So
Yes, ma'am.
I am going to order you not to return to the incident location. I'm going to appoint, let's see, Robin All to represent you. And hold you on $100 bond, and you will be seen tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Okay.
That's it, sir.
Melina.
Judge, I just sent them again to both the individual as well as the standard email address.
Okay, we got them, right? You're printing? Yep, we got them. Thanks. All right, what's your name, sir?
Oscar Molina.
All right, you are charged with shoplifting, resisting arrest, and refusing to provide a truthful name. I am going to order you not to go back to the incident location, and you need to come back to court in Justice Court on November 26th at 8:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Ma'am, am I getting released?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, thanks. What's your name, sir?
José Juan Peña?
You are charged with 2 counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, 1 count of domestic violence, criminal damage. I'm ordering you not to have any contact with your father, not to return to the residence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, and you need to come back to court on November 26th at 8:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yep.
And you're released with those no contact conditions.
Okay.
What's your name?
Kevin Thrasher.
All right, you got warrant for domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and domestic violence, criminal damage, and a new charge of domestic violence, criminal trespass. So I am going to order you not to have any contact with the victim, not to return to the incident location, no acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to appoint Brent Cicero to represent you, and I'm going to hold you on a $500 bond on one and a $100 bond on each of the others. So you got a $700 bond total, and you'll be seen on November 17th, tomorrow at 1 p.m. And that's it, sir.
All right.
What's your name?
Edward Weibel?
All right, Mr. Weibel, let's see. You have new charges of drug paraphernalia and prescription drugs possession, and then you have multiple failures to appear on the same types of charges. So I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, hold you on a $250 bond, and you'll be seen November 25th at 1:45.
All right, thank you.
What's your name?
Kenneth Wright or Kenny Wright.
You're charged with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct. I am going to order you not to have any contact with Marissa Ward, not to return to her residence. No acts of domestic violence, and you need to come back to city court on December 16th at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
I do.
All right, then you're released with those conditions.
Thank you, man.
Is there a public defender over there, you all?
There is, Judge. Sorry, I didn't realize we were starting with felonies.
We weren't going to start without you ever.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Sean Guffrey.
All right, you are charged with aggravated driving under the influence and criminal damage. And it looks like also Mr. Guffrey has a warrant for DUI out of justice court. So the state's asking for a $7,500 bond. Does the defense want to be heard?
Yes, Judge, just briefly. Waiting towards his release, he has resided in Tucson for 4 years. He does have 2 children. He is full-time employed. And he has also, his mother has indicated that she is willing to provide third-party custody for Mr. Guffrey. If you're not inclined to release him today, Judge, we would ask for a much more reduced bond of $1,100 given his indigency.
Well, like I said, he's got a warrant for not complying with his probation in justice court on a DUI. So I think that $7,500 is reasonable. I am going to hold him on that, release to pretrial services if posted. Appoint the public defender's office. Don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. And the preliminary hearing will be November 26th at 1:30. And then on the misdemeanor, failure to comply with your probation, I will appoint Janet Altshuler to represent you on that. And hold Jan a $500 bond on that one, and your court date will be tomorrow on that one. And that's it, sir.
What time on that court date tomorrow, Judge?
Tomorrow, I'm sorry, it's at 1 p.m. It's video.
Hi. So, take care. Oh, right.
What's your name, sir?
Jason Rice.
Waive in the reading council.
Your Honor.
All right, so we got a warrant for you, Mr. Rice, out of justice court from an incident from January of 2025. And the bond on the warrant is $50,000. And Mr. Postman's asking for $150,000. Did you want to be heard, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Judge waiting towards Mr. Rice's release this evening. He is a lifelong resident of Tucson. His mother has confirmed third-party custody of Mr. Rice. He has no prior criminal history. He is a 1-1 on the scale at age 26. So for those reasons, Judge, I do think that he's never been arrested in this matter either from January 2nd. If you're not inclined to release him, Judge, we would ask for a much more reduced bond.
All right. Well, given I don't know much, but the person who signed the warrant, signed it with a $50,000 bond, I think I will stick with that $50,000 bond, appoint the public defender, no contact with the victim, no return of the victim's residence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, release to pretrial services if the bond is posted, November 26th at 1:30 is the preliminary hearing.
Roll.
What's your name?
Tyler Rollins.
You are charged with a disorderly conduct with a dangerous instrument. And the state's asking for $5,000 bond. Counsel, do you want to be heard? Oops. Defense?
No, you're on.
Oh, me? No, sorry, I wasn't sure which counsel. Good. So I'd be asking for Mr. Rollins' release this evening. His only prior is over a decade old at this point, 2012. He has no other history from that. He's lived in Tucson for 2 years at this point, Judge. So for those reasons, and this is also is a level 6 felony, so it's on the lower part of the scale there. So I don't believe that he's a danger to the victim because I don't believe he knows them personally from my reading of the interim complaint, Judge. So I would be asking for his release today. If you're not inclined to release him, Judge, we would ask for a much more reasonable bond of $1,100 given his indigency.
All right. How did he end up with a six? Okay. Yeah, I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Rollins, order him not to have any contact with the victim, not to return to the incident location, no firearms or other weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to release him to pretrial services and set the preliminary hearing for December 8th at 1:30. And then, Mr. Rollins, you have 2 drug paraphernalias and a criminal trespass that I am going to release you on and give you a date of December 16th at 9 o'clock in City Court. If you don't show up for that one, you will get a warrant for your arrest, all right? And don't go back to the incident location.
Good for you.
All right.
So call pretrial tomorrow, okay? Eight.
All right, I changed my mind. I meant that one. See if you can read it. All right, what's your name?
Lori Bates.
All right. Miss Bates, you are charged with burglary, possession of a dangerous drug, possession of drug paraphernalia. And I guess the state is asking for a no bond hold. Defense, you see any?
I emailed Mr. Postman about this, so he might have more information on his end than I was able to bring up pre-hearing. It looks like from the information I have that the prosecution is suspended in that other case, so a no bond actually wouldn't be appropriate. Neil, do you have something that prosecution has been reinitiated, a pleading or something to that extent?
One moment, please. I am looking on the pretrial, and what I see here is prosecution is suspended. They may be in restorative, but what I'm seeing is still the fact that she is subject to a status conference this coming April of next year. But looking at it, all things considered, the state would modify its recommendation of $5,000 and release a pretrial if posted.
All right, so she's on a diversion-ish thing, so the case is still open, basically, is that what that?
Yes.
Right.
So with.
Well, at least it's a little bit better. Well, I would ask for her release based upon, if you look at her priors in that 2018 case, it looks like she successfully completed probation, so much so that it was designated a misdemeanor. In this case, it looks like she has been at least, conducting herself on restorative justice to some extent, and has been going through the process on that one. It looks like she cooperated with the police from the interim complaint. She has lived in Arizona for 29 years, so that is ample community ties. If you're not inclined to release Ms. Bates this evening, Judge, I would ask for a substantially reduced bond of $1,100 given her indigency.
All right. So. Those in duplicate misdemeanor files, maybe. Okay. All right. So I will appoint the public defender to represent Ms. Bates, order her not to return to the incident location, no contact with the victims, no alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring or treatment through free trial services if the $2,500 bond is posted. And the preliminary hearing will be November 26th at 1:30. And then Ms. Bates does have a two trespasses, not clear. They're both from today. I guess they're from different locations. So 2 different trespasses. And on those, I will release you, order you not to go back to the incident locations. I'm going to give you a public defender to follow along to see if you're still in custody on the felony. If you're not, come back to court December 19th at 9 a.m. And if you are, then your city public defender will figure out what you want to do with these misdemeanors. All right?
I get the bond amount, Judge?
No bond. I'm releasing her on that.
Oh, but on the original, on the felony?
On the felony, 2,500.
Oh.
Ma'am, we're gonna go back to the corner with the girls, okay?
Right here. Yeah. You're kidding.
What's your name?
Rebecca Boyd.
You're charged with aggravated assault on a police officer. And defense, the state is asking for a $5,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yeah, Judge,
You're on.
I would ask that Ms. Boyd be released to the supervision of pretrial services, Judge. Ms. Boyd is 60 years old. Her prior is from 1999, quite some time ago. She's a 3 on the FTA, so she is lower on that scale. So for those reasons, Judge, we would be asking for her release to pretrial supervision. If you're not inclined for, and I would like to add that, given that long criminal history and given, the facts of this case, I don't believe that she's a danger either to the victim or to the community. If you're not inclined to release her to pretrial services, Judge, I'd ask for a bond of $500 given her indigency and lack of criminal history.
All right. Did you want to say something, Mr. Poston, or no?
No, Judge.
All right. So I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Miss Boyd. I'm going to order her not to have any contact with the victim, not to go back to the incident location, which I'll address with the misdemeanor too. No alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to release you to pretrial services, and the next court date will be the preliminary hearing December 8th at 1:30. And then on the misdemeanors, you've got a criminal trespass, obstruction, and resisting arrest. And on those, I'm going to release you, and you need to come back to city court on December 15th at 9:30. Don't go back to the incident location. And that's it now.
Thank you to consider Ms. Boyd, okay? Let's go back home. Talk to you.
What's your name?
Armando Francisco Shaira.
All right, you are charged with aggravated driving under the influence. And the state's asking for a $5,000 bond. I will note that he also has a warrant in justice court for a DUI, failure to comply with probation, it looks like. So, defense, do you have anything to say?
Yes, Judge, weighing towards his release, he does have full-time employment. He does have his family here. He has 1 child, and he also is engaged at school in PCC, so he's not a flight risk. As for the warrant, He didn't know about the issuance of the JP warrant, at least that's what he's indicated to me tonight. If you are inclined to hold him, Judge, we would ask for a much more reduced bond of $1,100.
The last case we had, what, with exactly the same circumstances, I think the state was asking for 75. So, I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Tyra. I'm going to order him not to drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Yeah, that's a pretty new DUI. No alcohol or illegal drugs, $5,000 bond, pretrial services if posted November 26th at 1:30. And then on the probation case in justice court, I will appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you, hold you on a $500 bond. And set it for tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And that's it.
Schlepping. Martinez. Yeah, you guys are having today. One time.
What's your name, sir?
Mariano Martinez.
All right, you are charged with, I guess 3 counts of aggravated assault and defense. The state's asking for a $25,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
I would, Judge. I would ask for Mr. Martinez's release to pretrial services. I recognize the nature of the offense here, Judge, but I'd like to note a number of things. One, if we look at his prior from 2005, that's his sole prior. That's over 20 years ago. In that one, it looks like he successfully did probation for 5 years. Well, he actually completed probation early and then got his rights restored and his conviction set aside. So this is someone that has already demonstrated that he's amendable to supervision and he'll do what is told of him throughout the criminal process and even beyond. He lived in Tucson for 22 years, so a long time here. He does have full-time employment as a journeyman lineman and as well as 3 dependents, so he's not a flight risk. I would also like to address he's a 3 and 2 on the scales. There were also discrepant stories from witnesses at the scene. So for those reasons, and he doesn't pose a continued risk to the victims because he doesn't know them. So for those reasons, Judge, he would be a good candidate for pretrial services. If you're not inclined to release Mr. Martinez, we'd be asking for a substantially reduced bond of $1,100, given his criminal history. Given his criminal history.
Okay. All right. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent Mr. Martinez. Order him not to return to the incident location. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
Box lit up. Okay. Don't return to the incident location. No contact with the victims. Don't drive without a valid license. No alcohol or illegal drugs. No firearms. Surrender any firearms you do have to law enforcement within 24 hours. I am going to hold him on a $10,000 bond. Pretrial services, if posted, November 26th at 1:30 is the measure. What's your name, ma'am?
Myrna Lisa Ramirez.
All right, you are charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault, and defense. The state is asking for a $10,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Judge, weighing towards Ms. Ramirez's release this evening. At 51 years old, she has no prior criminal history. She's a 1-to-1 on the scales. This wasn't clear from the pretrial services report, but that daughter, Marcella, who has indicated third-party custody, she lives away from the victim in this case, and that's housing that's been verified away from the victim. Ms. Ramirez is gainfully employed. Like I said, she has all her family here, so a lot of criminal ties. She's also been struggling with her health this year, so the jail could be unsafe for her. If you're not inclined to release her, Judge, we would ask for a substantially reduced bond of $1,100, given her indigency.
So this appears, with all of my experience, to not be coercive controlling kind of behavior. It appears to me to be a kind of situational violence thing. So that is why I'm going to release Ms. Ramirez for pretrial services, but she is not to have any contact with Mr. Medina and not to return to his residence. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or any other weapons, and no acts of domestic violence. And the preliminary hearing will be December 8th at 1:30.
So
Roads.
Oh, a Form 4, how exciting is that? Okay. What's your name, sir?
Christopher Rhodes.
You are charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault, impeding airway, and domestic violence, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And the state is asking for a $30,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard, and do you have a copy of this risk assessment?
I don't have a copy of the 4C. I don't get those in my work up here. Could you hint at the number?
You are supposed to get them, but there's hardly ever get them on felonies. But I will tell you that
Okay.
it's 6 yes in tier 1, which makes it a high risk.
Okay.
So, and then a bunch
So
of
that- Well, weighing towards his release, he is a 1-to-1 on the scales. He has no prior criminal history. He also has third-party support with his father, who lives away from the victim. If you're not inclined to release Mr. Rhodes, Judge, we would be asking for a substantially reduced bond of $1,100, given his indigency.
I will note that the victim objects to release, and I think this is a very high risk case given the allegations and the risk assessment. So I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Rhodes, order him not to have any contact with Ms. Linkus, no return to her residence or work, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or other weapons, surrender any firearms you have to law enforcement within 24 hours of release. I'm going to hold him on a $50,000 bond, pretrial services if posted, and the preliminary hearing will be November 26th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good night, y'all.
Your attorney, he'll let you know when I could change that. I guess, yeah. So just stay in there tonight.